All right, so what exactly is intermittent fasting? Well, first off, the most important thing to understand is that intermittent fasting is not a diet. That's the most important thing to know, but it does become much more powerful when you combine this with things like the ketogenic diet or going keto or getting into ketosis, as we will explain in another video. But intermittent fasting, the way it kind of came about was we started doing research and understanding that fasting, which is going without food for prolonged periods of time, has some substantial benefits, as we'll talk about in some of the next couple of videos, that we obviously want to take a hold of. And the only problem with fasting is people don't want to go without food. I don't want to go without food. You probably don't want to go without food. So how are we able to maximize the benefits of fasting without having to go through all the trials and the struggles that come with going without food for days or even, multiple days at a time? And what they came up with and they found is that if you basically stick to a schedule where you're limiting your intake of food, you can actually mimic the same benefits that come from even prolonged days of fasting. And that is how intermittent fasting came about, because you're only going to be fasting for short windows of time every single day rather than going multiple days at a time without food. And that's where you get a lot of these benefits without as much of the struggle, and it becomes super easy, as we'll explain. So what you'll see here is, let's talk about a typical day for most people. A typical day for most people, you wake up at 7, you have breakfast at 8, lunch at 12, dinner at 5, go to bed at 10, right? That would be your typical schedule, let's say. Intermittent fasting, this is how simple it is. Intermittent fasting is as simple as skipping breakfast. That's literally as simple as it is. That's as simple as I can make it. And what you will do with intermittent fasting, our main goal is to get your eating window from a time of 8 hours or less. So the less we can restrict our eating window, the better. So essentially you're going to be fasting for roughly 16 hours. So from the time you go to bed until the time you eat, and then going to be eating within an 8-hour window. And that is essentially what intermittent fasting is. It's scheduling these blocks of when you can eat. Now, during this time, you can eat however much you want, but during your fast, that is when you're not eating at all. And that is essentially the nuts and bolts of intermittent fasting. And we'll show you in these next couple of videos some of the most amazing benefits that come with intermittent fasting.